Alright, yesterday I gushed about a DC movie for a while and just rambled on about it, so you know what time it is. It's time to talk about Infinity War and Endgame. I know every human being on the earth has gushed about these two movies, calling them the best two movies ever made. But screw it, I'm doing it too. Because these two movies are both genuinely in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. They are both just amazing. And while I like one a lot more than, not a lot more, while I like one more than the other, both of them are just some of the best movies ever made. So first, let's start with Infinity War. Okay, before we even start about Infinity War, we have to talk about the rest of the MCU. Because up until this point, we had a bunch of little like solo movies about characters, only with a few big crossovers, and the biggest one up to this point was Civil War, which was still very cool, but still like we had no clue what the Guardians were doing. We had no clue how Doctor Strange would connect all this. Like, yeah, we kind of expected Spider-Man. But there were so many little characters like that. We had no clue how they would fit into the big picture. And at the end of every Avengers movie up until this point, and a few other movies, we've had little hints and little teases about Thanos' existence. And then Infinity War, not only do we get the most ambitious crossover event in history, we get basically Thanos' own movie. I will argue into my grave, Thanos is the main character. He's the protagonist, he's the main character, he's not the good guy, but he is the guy who we're following the whole movie, and this is his story and his movie. All of the other Avengers, they're there to fight him, they're there to be the good guys, but this is Thanos' movie. And that is one of the best decisions Marvel has ever made. Because, like, the first Avengers movie, yeah, it was mostly an Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. Like, it involved all these characters, but there were one or two that really drove the story out of the Avengers. Same with Age of Ultron. But then this movie, all of the Avengers are equally important, which is not at all compared to Thanos. And it's just amazing. Throughout the whole movie, we really get or even 4 or 5 separate plot things going on. Like Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man trying to stop Thanos. Captain America, Black Widow, Hulk, and a bunch of others trying to stop Thanos. Thor, Rocket, Groot trying to get a new axe. The Guardians trying to save Gamora, and Thanos on his conquest. And it's amazing. All of these plot points interweave in just the most creative and good ways. The Guardians come and meet up with Iron Man and Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. Thor, Rocket, and Groot meet up with the Captain America, Wakanda boys. And we get 2 of the best fight scenes in the franchise, which is Iron Man versus Thanos and Doctor Strange versus Thanos. Then we get the entire Wakandan battlefield war, which is just amazing. And then we get, literally is in my top 5 favorite fiction scenes of all time, which is the snap, obviously. You should have gone for the head snap, all of your favorite characters dying. I still think about this so much to this day. I'm utterly shocked a movie could do this and end like this. And oh my gosh, me leaving the movie theater, I don't think I said a word for an hour because I was just thinking and literally grieving for Spider-Man and which sounds stupid, and all these other characters. Like, oh my gosh, I will never get over how amazing and impactful this snap scene is. And me yelling and gushing about it all right here, it's still not even the best Marvel scene that came out of these 2 movies. Because the entire last third of Endgame, literally my favorite scene in any movie, period. End of scene. I watched this final battle so often. Whenever I need to feel good, whenever I'm bored, whenever I need motivation, I watch this scene because the Avengers assemble when you get that wide shot of all of the Avengers lining up. I literally just watched it again on some Cinema Wins video, and I got chills after seeing it the 30th time, and I will forever get chills at him saying Avengers Assemble because it is the best scene in any movie. And the entire final battle is just so incredible. And oh my gosh, Tony's death at the end of it, I'm never getting over how good this climax is. Captain America's ending scene, Thor's ending scene, oh, it's all so good. And while I think the first 2/3 of the movie are just fine, like, they're not, like, the first killing Thanos was awesome, but past that, I mean, it was fine. Time travel was kind of a lame way to undo it all, but, like, I don't know what else they would do. Oh my gosh, Black Widow's death scene. There's so many little things like this that really, like, stick out. And all of these scenes set up more scenes in future shows. Like the Wanda, you took everything from me. I don't even know who you are. Oh, you will. That sets up all of WandaVision, but not Bucky. With Sam getting the shield sets up for Falcon Winter Soldier. Loki stealing the Tesseract sets up for Loki. Hawkeye letting Nat sacrifice herself sets up for Hawkeye. Nat sacrificing herself sets up for Black Widow. Oh my gosh, it's all so good. I will never get over this last third of the movie because it is the best scene in any movie. It's so good. And I just, while out of the two movies, I do prefer the ending scenes in Endgame. Overall, I think Infinity War is the better movie, just because Thanos' whole conquest of him being the main character and him just killing all of our favorite characters. I will never get over the snap. It's been outclassed by the Avengers Assemble scene at the end of Endgame, but oh my gosh, the snap ruined me the first time I watched the movie. And I think about it so much because it is such an amazing scene. And the Avengers Assemble, we've seen all of these characters get their own movies for years. They've all interacted with themselves and had their own stories, and they all come together in this amazing scene. It's just the best I've ever seen. I seriously doubt we will ever get a better scene in any movie than the Avengers Assemble scene in Endgame. The portal scene is just so freaking good. That's all I gotta say. I really just wanted to gush about these two movies because I love them with all of my heart. They are just so good. The MCU, like I said in the last video, is one of my favorite fiction stories. Maybe my number one favorite fiction story of all time. And these two movies 100% show all of that. If you somehow haven't seen them yet, I literally could not recommend them enough. They are spectacular. They are amazing. Everything. There's so much I could have said in this video that I didn't. Like Gamora meeting Star-Lord again, Nebula giving up on Thanos and working against him for the first time ever, Thor leaving with the Guardians. I can go on and on and on. It's so good. The Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame are in my top 5 favorite movies and forever will be because they are so utterly spectacular. I know I gushed a lot about Suicide Squad in the last movie, but the MCU and Marvel will always have my heart. Thank you, Stan Lee. May you rest in peace. Keep calm, hate Corin. Goodbye. I got nothing else to say. Go watch these movies. I'm begging you.